We'll be starting just in a moment. We're dropping assignment links right now. If you're looking for credit within the I.S.U.P.K, you want to become a student of the I.S.U.P.K and join the school, a trooper or a sister. If you're a sister, you can sign the link too. Don't forget to sign the sign-in link so you can become a student in the I.S.U.P.K. That's the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Got these sign-in links. Bear with us. Salakia for the late start. Shalom, I'm Officer TITHES of the I.S.U.P.K. Shalom, Yahweh Hashem Yahshai Barakatah to all the brothers. Yahweh Shemai Alafah Hashem Yahshai to all the sisters. I'm Officer TITHES of the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General YAHANNA. That's the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Right, this is the Friday night Lashawan Qadash class. That's the holy tongue. Right, this is the language your forefathers spoke before the slave ships. Right, this is the language that was beat out of them. Right, holy meaning separate. This language is separate from the other nations. Right, the Hebrew, like after the flood, Eber kept on to the Hebrew. After the Tower of Babel, when all the nations got split, Eber kept the Hebrew. Right, so we're gonna go into it. This is a good class for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. If you are sick and tired of speaking English, right, English is the language of the oppressor. It's a bastard tongue, a bastard language, right? But we're gonna go into it. This is the Lashawan Qadash class, right? We're gonna start with the alphabet and probably get into some directions, and we'll see what happens from there. But we're gonna start with the alphabet, right? So we have right here, make sure everyone can see. We have right? So this is I don't think you can see that, but we're gonna have to do it a little bigger. Right? So equals right? So this is in the ancient Hebrew, right? And if you notice, it's like A, like apple, right? And it looks like an A, but sideways. So that should let you know like where majority of people got their language from, right? A lot of cultures stole from Hebrew from the Israelites, just like they do from the Israelites today, right? So is for Allah, is for cow. Right, I'm not sure if you can see that. Back here, 1 second. Right, that's a little better. For cow. Right? I'll give you a second to get that down. I'm going to draw it, I'm going to place it right next to it. I'm going to do the Hebrew right next to it. Let me get rid of this for a second. Ancient. Right? So we have the ancient, and then we have the Assyrian. Right? The Assyrian is what there's a people, right? They basically took Wyland out from Nick Cannon. He did the coon thing, and then they gave him back Nick Cannon. They walk around acting like us, right? This is the language that they use. This is how they write their characters. They do it in the Assyrian. They're not the true Israelites. They're not Israelites at all, right? Israelites wrote in this. This is what you wrote during captivity, right? This is the characters of the oppressor, right? So Allah, cow, right? Ah. So we're going to continue. I'll give you a second to get that down. Yeah, let's see if I can fix the camera just a little. Yeah. Right, so we got that right there. Gonna continue. We're gonna go through this whole alphabet. Right? If you wonder what your ancestors were, your foremothers and forefathers were speaking on that slave ship as they got taken out of captivity, with the Native Americans, with the Puerto Ricans, the tribe of Ephraim, right, were speaking, what the Hispanic natives were speaking, they were speaking the Hebrew, right? They did not speak English. English came from the oppressors. They did not speak Spanish either. That came from the oppressors. So we're going to do Ba. And you see that? You can see that. Right? So Ba in the Hebrew. Now we're going to do it in Syrian. Right over. Right? This is Ba in the Hebrew. Salaki. This is Ba in the Hebrew. This is Ba in the Assyrian. Right? And Bayah is tent. But Ba comes from Bayah. Right? Tent. is tent. Right, so we have it right there. I'll give you a second to get it down. Right? When we were first developing language and writing on script, we were writing with characters like pictographs, right? So even with the word, you can see how with the word bayah, which means tent, the pictograph looks like a tent, right? The Assyrian just looks like whatever they wrote in the Assyrian, whatever those oppressors were speaking, whatever they visioned in their head, that's how they came up with it. Right? But for the true breakdown of the language, this is or of the pictographs that we wrote with, right? This is what we are writing with. The ba, it looks like a tent. Ba comes from bayah. Right? So give it a second. Give you a couple seconds to get that one down. Right? And if you don't get them down, you could always go back and watch it again later. Right, so I'm gonna get rid of it right now. We're gonna go through it some more. Right? So what do we got next? We have the ga, right? Gamal. So we have the ga. We're gonna write the ga right here. Right? And this is the ga in Hebrew. Right? This is the ga in Hebrew, the ga in Syrian, right? And ga is for gamal. Ga is for gamal, right? And gamal is for camel. And again, we wrote in pictographs. That's what these are, right? Like if you were to say English could never be wrote in pictographs because the A doesn't look like anything an A might sound like. Like you have apple, A doesn't look like an apple, right? So we have ga from gamal for camel. This looks like a camel's hump, right? Some camels have two humps, some camels have one hump, but nevertheless, this looks like a camel's hump, the ga character. Right, I'll give you a couple moments to get it down. And the next one, I got the perfect visual for the next one. Right, next we'll be going into Da. Right? Da. So again, Ga for Gamal. Gamal means camel. If you didn't get a chance to write it down, just go back to the video. Get in class, stay in this class. Learn how to speak the ancient language of your forefathers. Right? Stay in class for 90 days and get you a Hebrew name. Right? You want to get you a Hebrew name. Like, you don't have a name until you get a Hebrew name. This is the name that you don't even want your name, because your name is associated with sinning. Right? Your name that you have in the world is associated with a person who the Lord doesn't like your actions. Right? If you're not in this school, you're probably out doing Lord knows what, sleeping with Lord knows who, about to celebrate. You probably were out, when was it? Wednesday? You probably were out Wednesday in all green, talking about Happy St. Patty's Day. Right? So you want a Hebrew name so you'll be a new person, right? You got to kill the old you to be a new person, to be the person the Lord wants you to be. Right? And unless you kill the old you won't be able to do that. Right? So we're going to go into Da. Right? Da for door. Salakia. Da for Dala. Right? So, right? So we have Da. We have the Da in the Hebrew. And then we have the Da in the Assyrian. Right? So Da is for Dala. Dala. Right? Dala is for door. The Da is also in this character. If you study Israelite culture, you've seen that character so many times, right? You've seen it like this, the shield of David, right? Dawadah, right? It's just his insignia, his signature, right? Da for door, Da for Dalah, right? It looks like the door of a tent. Like when we were in the wilderness, we set up tents. That's how we were living when we were moving around for 40 years, right? It looks like the door of a tent, right? So Da for Dalah for door. Let's see if I could even put this up just a little. You can see the shield of David, right? It looks like two pictographs for Da, one right side up and one upside down. And that was just the style David was rocking with. He seen something, he wanted to do it. He put it down, right? You know, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we are stylish. We have swag, right? We are the salt of the earth, but unfortunately, for not keeping the Lord's laws, we have lost our flavor. Right? Not keeping the Lord's laws has us flavorless. Not keeping the Lord's laws has us living in the ghetto, speaking English. Right? Speaking English to oppressors, begging them for jobs. Speaking English to oppressors, begging them not to kill you. When you don't have to beg oppressors not to kill you, all you have to do is keep the Most High's laws. It's that simple, really. Like there's nothing hard about it. Just keep the laws, right? Tonight's the Sabbath. Salakia. Tonight is the starting of the Sabbath. Just keep the Sabbath holy, right? Observe the Sabbath and like start by getting in class. That's what you need to do. You seen this video and you're watching it now and it's interesting to you, so you've been watching it. You're learning a new language, right? Keep it up. Watch all the other videos, right? Click that sign in link at the beginning of the videos and at the end of the videos. Get you a Hebrew name. Link up with the brothers, because we're in Toronto. We're outside. We're real. We put in work. Right? So I'm going to let this go right now. Right? What do we got next? We got the ha. Right? Ha. Right? So we're going to do ha and Hebrew first. We have like perfectionists. Right? So the ha and Hebrew first. Right? Now we're going to do the ha in Assyrian. Alright? The ha in Assyrian and the ha in the Hebrew. If you participate in a Sabbath service, you're gonna have to learn the Assyrian, right? Even to be an officer in the school, you're gonna want to learn how to read the Assyrian, right? Because we read a lot of Hebrew from the Old and the New, and the New Testament is in the Assyrian. So you're gonna wanna know how to read the Assyrian, right? So this is ha for hada, which means to put, right? This is also like the ha. It's like a hand, right? You use your hand to put things places. So to put hada. Put. Right, so I'll give you a second to get that down. This is like, on first glance, this language and the writing and the even the saying of it, it seems like such a hard thing to learn. But you have it in front of you and you read it, and you study it, you'll get it quick, right? Like, and it's like with English, you say A B C D E F G. It's just as simple with the Hebrew as Abba Gada Hawa Zakata Ya Ka La. Like, but it's a more masculine language. It's a more rough language, right? Because the Israelites, they were warrior. They spoke they spoke very masculine. They were warriors. We're God's battle axe. Right? Yahweh's battle axe. Yahweh is a man of war. So I'm gonna leave it right here for a second. We're gonna get onto it. Right, so hada, put. Also, one thing about Hebrew is we write right to left, right? So if I'll give you, before we continue, we're going to go on to the wa, but we write right to left. So if I was to show you how we write, I'll basically show you my name, right? And for the English spelling, I'm not going to write right to left. Right, so this is my name, Zabadia. Right, so that's the gift of the Lord. Right, so I'm going to write it in the Hebrew for you. So writing right to left. So I'm going to have to block the camera for a quick second. Right. So this is Zabadia, but first we have to put the connectors. So here. So for singular, the za is singular, it's by itself. So we'll have the singular connector. The ba and the da is together. That's how you get the ba, right? So we have to put a connector there. The ya and the ha are together. Just like the da, there's no a after the d, right? And just like the ya, there's no a after the h or after the ha. There's no after the da, and no after the ha, right? So we have the za, it's by itself. The ba and the da is together. You put the connectors. The ya and the ha is together. So we put connectors again, right? And English, you read left to right. In the Hebrew, you read in right to left, right? So za, ba, ya. So we're going to continue. Where were we? Next, we were at wa. if you try to write the character, like if you try to think of like what the character looks like and the sound that you're kind of thinking of in English, it's gonna be off. You're not gonna it's gonna throw you off. This threw me off a few times when I was learning the Hebrew, right? But we're gonna do the wa. The wa. So wa, right? The wa, right? The one in the Hebrew, the wa in Assyrian. Hope you can see it. If you can't see it, just let me know in the chat. If you can't see it, just let me know in the chat. Right, so the wa we get wawa. So, yeah. So with the wa we get wa. The wa is from wawa. And wawa is hook. Right, so wawa, hook. Right, so for that wawa we got hook. Give you a second to write it down. Next we have za, right? Za, like Zabadia, Slovakia. Right, so I'm gonna get rid of this. If you missed it, come back to it. If you're tuning in, like, subscribe, and share this video. For Water for tuning in, you're getting to learn something interesting, something you're not going to learn in the TDSB. The Toronto District School Board is not going to teach you this. York University is not going to teach you that you are the Israelites if you are Black, Hispanic, and Native American. If your forefathers and foremothers went through slavery, Salakia. If your forefathers went through slavery, right? If they were sold on ships, if the conquistadors whipped their back and stole their language, you are Israelite. Salakia. Hey! Shalom Yahabashim al Shabarakatha, Officer Shayuan. The Water for tuning in. I wouldn't worry about if it's gonna be too nippy out tomorrow, man. We gonna bring the heat, right? Anybody who's watching, if you're interested, tomorrow I.S.U.P.K will be doing live street speakings at Dundas Square, I believe 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Come see how you protest in real life, right? We're gonna show you how you really protest and how you really tell the devil the Bible speaks of who he is, right? Marching hands up, don't shoot, that is not a real protest. You can't protest with the devil. You can't protest the devil with the devil. It's not making sense, right? So now we have Za. So Za, right? In the Hebrew, right? We have Za in the Hebrew and in the Assyrian, right? So Za for Zion, like General Hazayan, the Za, the Zion is weapon, right? Right? Zion, weapon. Right? So what are we doing next? Right? So Zion, weapon. Right? And Salakia, Israelites were extremely good with weapons, right? And not just that we were good with weapons, we kept the law, so the Lord was on our side. That's why David was able to slew Goliath, right? When Goliath saw David, he was Goliath saw David and he was like, how are you sending this little man to fight me? Like he's a magician. Like, what are you doing? Right? But when the Lord's with you, it doesn't matter how big your opponent is. Right? The Lord never chose Israel because of how big or mighty we were as a nation. Right? In fact, we were the last nation. So I'm gonna leave it right here. I'll come back to it. What do we got next? We just got the za, so now we're at the ka, right? And the ka, it comes from like deep in your throat, ka, right? So we're going to do the Ka next. Right? Ka. It looks like a ladder. Right? And then the Assyrian. Salakia. My Assyrian isn't the best when it comes to writing it. But if you are interested in joining the school, join the school, do your 90 days, get you a name, and we'll get you right. Right? You'll have everything you need to be able to read and write Hebrew. Right? And over time you put in enough. You study yourself to be approved, to show yourself approved, and over time you'll be an officer of 50 as well. Right? So Ka. Ka for Kama. Right? So Ka is for Kama. Right? Ka for Kama. And Kama means wall. Right? Kama means wall. Right? And even looking at the character Kama, it looks like a wall. Right? You put a whole bunch of these together and it's going to start to look like a wall. All right, so we're going to keep going. We got some more to do. Next, we got Ta. Next, we got the Ta. So we're going to go with this Ta. Right, Ta. Shalakia. That's pretty small. You can see that. Right, so that's the Ta in the Hebrew, and then we have the Ta in the Syrian, or the Assyrian. Ta is for Tanah. Tanah. And Tanah is for basket, right? You could see, like, if you ever weaved a basket, right? Back in the day, we weaved baskets. We just didn't go and pick up a basket that was already made from Walmart. You had to weave the basket. And you can see the top. It looks like you're looking down into the basket, and you can see the weaves. Right? So top, the basket. Right? Again, we wrote in pictographs where you can visualize what we're writing. So you can see it. After the ta, we're going to go on to the ya. If you're just tuning in, thank you for tuning in. The water, right? You are in the perfect place. This is an excellent place to be on a Friday night in class with a priest. Right? So next we're going to do the ya. Ya. The ya. Right? And ya is for yad. Ya is for yad. Yad is for hand. Right? So you use your yad to hada. Right? So use your yad for to hada. Right? Hand. Use your hand to put. Right? So after the ya, we have the ka. Right? And that's not the same as the ka. It's the ka. I'll give you a couple moments to get this down. We're going to get through the rest of this alphabet, and then we're going to call it. We're going to call it. Again, Thuwada for tuning in. If you're just getting in with us right now, I'm going to give you a moment to get that down. Hold up. to Water for being patient. We're right back. So we just wrapped up the Yah, Yad, hand, right? And it looks like a hand, right? Like someone's hand. So we're going to continue. After the Yah, we have Ka. Right, so after the Yah, we have Ka. Then we have Ka. Right? Oh, I keep doing this Assyrian. Smaller than the Hebrew for some reason. Can you Salaki, I'm gonna do this one more time. It doesn't look as it's really small. Right? That's the Ka in the Hebrew and the Assyrian. Ka is the Ka, which is palm of hand. Ka. Right? So this is for palm of hand. I'm gonna leave that up for a few more moments. We're almost through. We still got the Ma, Na, Sa, I, Pa, Taza, Kwa, Ra, Sha, Tha, Karasha, Tha. Right? Even when you are trying to remember this language, you could basically break up the you could basically break it up into words. So you could be like Abagada, that's a person's name, right? You could be like Trooper Abagada, right? You could Hawazaka, right? Tayakala. And you just gotta make it work for you, so it'll be names that you can remember. It's just anything that will help you remember, right? Like Kala, that could be a name. All right, so I'm gonna get rid of this right quick. Now we're at La, right? La. To bring this just a little closer. That's the la. La for lamad, right? Lamad is learn. Salakia. Lamad for learn. Lamad, learn. Salakia, give me 1 second. Right, so la, lamad, learn. Right? Learn lamad, your ancient language. Lamad, the Lashawan Qadash. Right? Learn the holy tongue. Lamad Lashawan Qadash. Right, so we're going to go to the ma. The ma is the next. The ma. So after the la, you get ma, la ma. Right, we're almost done. We're going to continue. Right. So after the la, we have the ma. Okay. So the ma. right? So the Ma, and Ma is Salakia, Mayam. And this one is definitely interesting. Mayam, water, right? Mayam is for water, right? And you can even see that how the Hebrew character for Mayam is. It looks like a wave, right? If you look closely, it looks like it's a wave, right? Like you can see it. So it even looks like someone's surfing. Like it looks like the wave, the wave is coming down and someone's surfing right here. All right, so I'm gonna give you a second to get that. We have some more. All right, so now we have the Na. After the Ma, we have the Na. Right. Again, these characters they're very simple to write once you get the hang of it. Right? Can you see that properly? Next week I'll make sure that I have black markers, black eraser markers. The last ones I had they dried out. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get some, but we'll carry on. Right? So now, right? The na for the posh. Na for the posh. And the posh is for soul. Right? Like 70 living souls walked into Egypt, and we came out in the hundreds of thousands because of oppression. Right? That's similar to today, where when we're oppressed, we multiply. This is why they had to be abortion clinics, because when we're oppressed, we multiply. Right? The children of Israel are oppressed, and they multiply souls in a posh. Right? Next, we have Sa. I. All right. So for Sawak, right? Sawak means flag. If you look at the Saw character, it looks like an ancient flag, like an ancient banner, right? If you've ever seen, the best way I could use to describe it, because everybody took everything from Hebrew culture, right? From the culture of the Israelites, you'll see in ancient Moabite movies, they have the fake monks and warriors with a flag. They have a pole and a flag that hangs down in rectangular. It hangs down like a rectangle, something like this. Like they'll have a flag pole, and they'll have like a banner here that comes down, or they might have two, right? That's what the saw means. They took that from us. The saw is for Sawa. Sawa is flag, right? I'm gonna give you a second to copy it down. Next week we're gonna do I. All right, so we're gonna do I. We're gonna do I. Do this properly. Right, I. And if you notice, I look like the I in the Hebrew. In the Hebrew, looks nothing like what it looks like in English. Right. Now this is how you. This is what it looks like in Hebrew. The English pronunciation for I is what this is in Hebrew. Right. So I. After I, we have ayan. We have ayan, which is I. Now notice that the I, what it looks like in English, and the I in Hebrew actually looks like an eyeball, right? Ayan, I. All right, so we got a few more, and then we're gonna go ahead and end class. We are over the time, so I'm gonna quickly go through these last ones. All right. So next we have the pa, and my marker is dying. Slovakia. Next we have the pa, right? You probably cannot see that at all. Slovakia for the red marker. The next time I do this class, I'll make sure I have black eraser markers on deck. Right? Ha. Cannot see that. Right. So for the pa, we have pa, which means mouth. Shut your pa. Right? Shut your pa. Mouth. Right? So pa is mouth. We have a few more. Next, we're going to go to the tazah. Tazah. Right? Tazah. Ancient Hebrew. Tizah in the Assyrian, Tizah, Slovakia. Do not have the Hebrew breakdown for Tizah at the moment, but it means tomahawk, right? The word that Tizah comes from means tomahawk, right? And even if you look at the Hebrew character for Tizah, it looks like a tomahawk. Let's see if I could write it a little bigger for you. Right? It looks exactly like a tomahawk. Right, so we got a couple more we're going to go through. So we got a couple more we're going to go through. We're going to go through the qua. Salakia, my marker is on its last legs. It's about to go to the upper room. That's a little UPK inside joke. If you're an officer, you be on the sticks with us playing Warzone, you might have to go to the upper room. Right? And we might have to get you out of gulag or something. So we have qua, right? Qua looks like a mushroom head. Ooh, thank you. Got a clutch marker from my sister. She's showing sisterhood. This marker came clutch. Right? Let's do this back again. We're going to try it this time. And this UPK blue. UPK blue. Oh snap. We on it now. Qua. We are on it now. Right? Qua. Qua. Right? Salaki, again, I do not have the breakdown for the word qua, but the word that qua comes from means snare. Right? I'll make sure we have it next week. Qua. The word it comes from means snare. Right? I'm gonna give you a second to get that down. All right. After the qua, we have ra. This marker is nice. New rounds. Right? We have the ra. And it looks like a backwards 4. Alright? For the Ra, we have Ra'ash. Ra'ash, head. Yo, Ra'ash, head, right? That looks like a goat head, right? Like the head of a lamb. The lamb slaughter is coming up. You want to be there? It's going to be in Houston, Texas, right? Slovakia. It's going to be in Texas, right? Check out I.S.U.P.K Canada on Instagram or Facebook. You'll see the itineraries and the several posts for the lamb slaughter going down in Texas. If you can get to Texas, you want to be there. That's where the priests and prophets are going to be. You want to celebrate the Lord's high holy days the way they're supposed to be celebrated. Celebrate the days you're supposed to celebrate. This is going to be an event, and you want to be there. Head, right? So we're almost finished. We got two more. Right? So now the last two, we got Shah, right? Shah, Shah, right? Shah for Shah, Shah for Shah, which is T, right? And the last one we're going to do is the Tha. Okay, let me do this. We're gonna go into the Tha. You didn't get them, you could always go back. Yeah. Tha. The mark. I'm gonna leave those right there for a second. So I'm gonna leave that over there. Again, this has been the I.S.U.P.K Lashawan Qadash class, which is the holy tongue, the separate tongue, the language that your forefathers spoke before the slave ships. right? They didn't speak Mabutu Gutu, right? They spoke the Lashawan Qadash, right? They said Kanadawan Khan, right? So again, I'm Officer 50 Zavaja of the I.S.U.P.K. I'm going to give you the security announcements right quick. Security announcements, we have the I.S.U.P.K. started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rules for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shut themselves to the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithe verses of the commandment, Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3 verses 8 to 10, Ma'ashera, which means tenth in Hebrew, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory whatsoever amount you would like. Up and coming holy convocations. The next up and coming holy convocation is the Passover. That's going to be in Texas. Thursday, April 22nd, we're going to have the slaughter of the lambs. The Friday, April 23rd, is the pre-Passover mansion party. Saturday is the Passover, and Sunday that is the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Right? It all goes down in Houston, Texas. Be there or be square. Reminder to Akim and Aqua, check the isupk.com website for any up and coming events or any updates. If anybody wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, boots, shirts, pants, headband, and scarf. With that said, men of Israel, we're going to give a courtesy salute to the brothers and a courtesy salute to the sisters watching. Men of Israel, I Imagine Salakia. Men of Israel, Imagine Shabbat. Men of Israel, Imagine Barak. Yahweh Hashem Shad Barakatah. Yad Yamatah, which means hands down. Men of Israel, we're going to give a courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Imagine Shabbat. Imagine Barak. Yahweh Shemar Alathah Ba'Hashem Yahushai. That Yad Yamatah, which means hands down. Clap it up. Class is dismissed.
Like they gon' change this country. Run the league and let y'all players so I gon' make up money. Fuck Obama, he ain't come, he don't call no slave ship. What the fuck he do with blacks in his administration? I'm waiting, patient like a saint. Black, Hispanic, Native, they ain't your ass the same. Ain't Christ in their image, ain't you as a slave. God ain't all love, scriptures say it hate. African slow niggas, they know we not the same. School to prison pipeline to get you off the streets. Put you in the cell phone connected to the saint. Molested as a kid, you prostituted as a teen. The byproduct of Martin Luther King dream. They just took the yoke off, my nigga, we ain't free. We live in bleak in these wastelands of poverty. You don't know the truth, and the lies sound promising. Prophecy, given the curse. Just start killing, they was sitting in church. Black folk forgave them, man, this shit is absurd. You should never let your enemy, that shit ain't gonna work. Yeah, fuck dying on your knees, you better die in glory. Man, I told the U.P.K. taught me the art of war. I took a nigga life like mine to be recognized. I feel that pain every day, it can't be reconciled. Pops banging, my sister a prostitute, my brother got life, and somehow I still found the truth. War ready, no cowards, no excuse. Fuck reparations, you can't manage no older wolves. Blood on the leaves, mighty swing from the noose. I was on a running Nashville and I found the truth. I called the school, classes being held by the shot for my life. I want to be a gangster like a God. It was for my brothers, real brotherhood. Everything we do, we got it on this book, my nigga. I can never be no African. U.P.K. the only authorized acronym. I'm passionate about my brothers and sisters. We in hell, I ain't got nothing against it. That's another religion. If it ain't none of YAHANNA, any murder, five women got a hook in your honor. That's the way y'all for a coward in my observation. They don't fear the Lord, they indoctrinated. Wolf in sheep clothing, Joe Osteen. Real priests bringing back black royalty. One bless on my headpiece, ranking order. Can't let them trip me off the streets, I gotta raise my daughter. I got brothers at the border ducking ice ages. I got the name changed, it was life changing. My family thought it was a game, thrown all black, they said I was going through a phase. There's more of us in jail than it was slaves. Told us by the Lord we could never be the same. Soon as they born, the wicked go astray. They left the truth, they wouldn't put us anyway. Niggas weak, they just saying anything to be true. We don't want no cowards anyway. Look, coronavirus, that's a plague. You don't get too much sleep when you waking up the dead.